Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here, and I'm going to be doing a random collective reading. I didn't want to do a random collective reading, so I wasn't going to do one today. However, my friend stopped by. She brought me this beautiful oracle deck, and then I felt like doing a reading. So I am not coming in with a message. I usually like to. Sage for you. There's some for me. Love your friends. Love your friends and family and anybody else who's awesome to you. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if it'll zoom on it. But so I'm going to pull an oracle card first, and we'll see what exactly the reading is going to be about. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back. Don't force the reading to fit you. Don't force me to fit you. Just, free will and shit. That shit is free. Use it. Okay. If you are interested in a personal reading, astrology, or tarot, my information is down below. My website is teresazube.com. You can book on there. And if you book it online, it's just like this. Me in your face in the Zoom. Morning dew. Morning dew girl, number 13. All right. So let's see. What's she about? Face your fears, awareness, consciousness. The woman on this card collects fat raindrops into a basket of leaves. She is called Morning Dew Girl, and she symbolizes the receiving and absorption of all worries and fears. She invites us to start sharing our own feelings and worries. We can collect them and deal with them instead of hiding them deep inside. She stands resolute and strong, ready to face her fears. While fear can be as powerful as a river, once confronted, it may turn out to be as small as a drop of dew. Share our own feelings and worries. I feel that. There's a big flower behind her. It's like the deck is gorgeous. She's holding the leaf with water in it. There we go. So how are we feeling? How are you feeling? I'll start. I feel tired. And it's funny because I've been saying, and then my friend Susanna just said it to me today, and I'm like, I've literally been saying this for days, but I'm kind of going with the thing where life is a video game because some of this shit is like too unreal to actually be real. Like, did you ever watch? No, maybe some of you are, I'm going to date myself, but this is kind of one of those obscure MTV shows. I'm pretty sure it was MTV that you would have never heard of. I don't even know if people watch MTV anymore, but it was called Boiling Point, and somebody would be really, really rude to somebody in customer service or whatever. And it would be, I mean, obnoxiously rude, right? And then but the person, if they didn't like lose their mind and get mad, which some people did, on the people that were being rude. There we go. They got like $100 or something. And when I worked at a hotel, I used to swear sometimes that I was on that show. But like life is kind of feeling like that right now. I'm like, okay, where's my $1,000,000? Because it like things are just really specific, like specifically targeted at me. It's like as if I was mad at the letter A and the number, not just the number 2, but the number 2 plus 2, or like the number 2 in a particular font, right? And so then I'm going to a play or a cinema. I'm making shit up I would never do. Like, and then I go to a play and they're like, oh yes, Miss Zube, here's your seat. And it's like 2A in the font that I hate. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then the play is great, but there's a part where the actors throw out something, water, into the audience, and like the whole glass of water lands on me, but everybody else is having a good time. This is really specific sounding, but that's how the irritating shit feels like to me right now. So I've been saying that I am beginning to more and more believe that life is kind of like a video game. And somewhere out there, my soul or whatever was like, yo, hold my beer and watch this. But then whoop, we drop in on planet Earth, and I have no fucking idea that I'm some beer drinking dumbass, like redneck will do any fucking thing soul out there going into the hardest, like I picked expert level or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I'm really feeling. How are you really feeling? But, and then like specific fears come up too. Like very specific, almost as though it was like a algorithm or a computer algorithmically, quantumly giving me the exact thing I'm totally fucking afraid of, you know? It's weird, man. Weird. All right, so let's pull cards on that. That's how I feel. Feel free to share how you feel with me or one of your friends. I hope you have good friends like Nina to drop you off little sweet gifts. All right, so we're having feelings. Oh, that felt good. That was a nice, like, deep breath. I was struggling with that for a while, like weeks almost. Power. That's the internal card. So things are crumbling. Anything with a faulty foundation is crumbling. But for me, I have to laugh. Like I just have to laugh. And I almost really mean it. You know, like I almost really genuinely just think this shit is so exactly tailored to piss me off that it's funny. I don't know how else to explain that. Anyway, what are we walking into? We're going fucking home. How's that sound? I don't know how, guys, but we're gonna get there. I don't know how. I don't know how we're going home. I mean, look at those two. Like the tower is anything with a faulty foundation crumbling. That's the card. That's the internal energy card. It's what's inside of us. So maybe we're just falling apart inside. And that could be laughable. It might not. It might be really irritating. Maybe it would be helpful to laugh at it. But then we're rebuilding. The Four of Wands, it's also an 11-11. But wands are fire. That's heart energy. It's the spiritual journey, the journey of manifestation. Fours represent a good foundation, and we have the faulty foundation is crumbling, but the good foundation, we are walking towards it some fucking way. I don't know. I don't know, by like walking through. It's like by walking through some house of horrors that is directly built of all of your specific horrors. And then, okay, so then up here, it's going to get convoluted because I'm going to get into a little like tarot card talk here, even if you're not really into it, because as I'm explaining it, I'm going to put something together I've been wanting to put together a little bit, and you're going to watch it in real time. We got the Eight of Wands, and that is from the higher perspective of God, the universe, whatever. So looking down on us, the Eight of Wands, it's messages going back and forth. It's things evolving and growing. There are a lot of things launched. And I always say with the Eight of Wands, it's not necessary. It's not time to micromanage what it is that you've put out there, but it's kind of like full speed ahead. We're moving in the direction of it. So here's what I want to put together. With the Four of Wands, fours are when, if we take dots, we're making four corners to like a foundation. And then with the eight, and these are both wands. So again, we're with the spiritual journey. With the eight, when you read tarot cards in like the numerological, you know what I'm saying, numerology kind of way, whatever. You have two sets of four. So then you have like a 3D square, and God is seeing the 3D version of what we are laying the foundation for, and it's ahead. So the Eight of Wands is not a card of second guessing. It's fast paced. It's keep doing what's right in front of you, because we're building, something is being built, whatever it is, that the foundation that we are moving towards. But internally, like everything is falling apart, maybe. Yeah. And so when I wanted to kind of like compare these two, it's like with the Four of Wands, we're building a foundation. This card kind of means it can mean a homecoming, and I think of that as the internal homecoming as well, like coming home within ourselves. With the Eight of Wands, with that foundation, we have built something that has grown, and now we are at a vantage point to create more. But we're not seeing that yet. We're definitely not possibly feeling that. Because inside it's like, ugh, I hate that font. What does this have to do with anything I want to do in life? I just want to watch a fucking play, you know? That's weird. Anyway, but God's like, man, you have no fucking idea what I'm doing up here. What I can see from up here is pretty cool. I'm actually going to pull another one of these oracles. And with the just feel your feelings. When I was in AA, they were kind of like a-holes about feelings, and there's something to be said for that. Like radical acceptance, get the fuck over it, quit crying. Yes, there's that. The same time, it was like, fuck your feelings. Feelings aren't facts. Yes, yes, yes. But you can't just stuff them down, and that was one thing that irritated me. And yeah, that's why you have a sponsor. And I'm, somebody from A could come here and be like, nah, like, no, but feelings are important. And we have to let them move through. Like, we've got to understand that we are not the feeling. We're just something that the feeling is passing through. And the feeling is passing through is good. Like, it's just good. And the morning dew, girl. But it's important to acknowledge them, you know? All right. Lorelei. Oh, I love that name. I wanted to name my daughter Lorelei. That was on my list. Um, number 31. Interesting, because look, we have Morning Dew Girl, number 13, and then we have Lorelei, number 31. So the inverted numbers, the reverse numbers. And guess what they both add up to? 4. Why am I grabbing this? All right. I don't know what Lorelei means yet, but we're going to pull a card on her too. Ace of Pentacles, we have a new beginning here. We're clearing the way for a new beginning. So let's look at her. She's a mermaid. And she's pulling a little boat here. Siren. I'm gonna see what the meaning of the card is, but that's making me think of sirens. Aren't sirens like something that shit seamen see knew about? I don't know. I'm about to look it up. Okay. Power, responsibility, fate, and grace. So Lorelei means a mermaid sits on a rock and gazes toward the ocean. A small ship floats nearby, connected with her through a rope. She has the power to decide the destiny of the ship and the fate of the crew. With a flick of her wrist, she could toss the ship against the shore, or she could let it continue its journey. What will the mermaid decide to do? She has suffered great loss in her own life. Will she continue the cycle of pain, or will she allow healing and grace to calm the waters? Pause this for a second. You saw it here in real time. I was not expecting that to come up, meaning emotions, right? And I didn't even, this, you guys saw me flip the card. This was not done on purpose. But now that I think about it, I was going to stuff those tears, but it felt important to honor them and let that out. God, I didn't even think about that. That's why it's important to let our emotions pass through, you know, even thinking about me going to AA and getting sober, and that was ugly. And why did I do that stuff? It was because I was fucking hurt. And because I was not getting better, I was hurting other people. And that is why it's important for us to honor our emotions. Because what this card is, you know, I always say, depending on how on the spiritual path are you, but you know what? Like, I don't care how far along on the spiritual path you get. If you, God will checkmate you, you know, or check you or whatever. I'm thinking of like a hockey check. Um, because we are always learning and evolving. And it's like, this shit is hard. This shit is hard. No matter how unattached or whatever, perfect, like bodhisattva, Buddha, whatever, feelingless, piece of wood. You can become shit fucking hurts. So allow yourself to feel this, but know that we are walking into the building of a new foundation. Anyway, I still do want to look up really quick what siren means, but because that was coming to me for her for some reason. I think the siren would like call out and yeah, yeah. Cleaning house. We are cleaning house. We are clearing out old emotions. We are overcoming fears. Like, not that we're not going to be like scared anymore, but every time you rise up and face a fear, you develop more courage and bravery, and you learn that you're going to be okay. One more. Wow. Stuck in the mud. And that's why we need to clean house. Because we are stuck. And the more that you try to wrestle your way out of it, the more you try to avoid feelings, the more stuck you're going to get. So let's look up here. Siren. In Greek mythology, siren definition. Okay, so it's a half bird. So, siren in Greek mythology, a creature half bird and half woman who lures sailors to destruction by the sweetness of her song. In Homer's Odyssey, in Homer's Odyssey, according to Homer, there were two sirens on an island in the Western Sea between Aeaea and the rocks of Scylla. Later, the number was usually increased to three, and they were located on the west coast of Italy near Naples. They were variously said to be the daughters of the sea god Phorcys. Okay, but what did they do? Oh, in Homer's Odyssey book, the Greek hero Odysseus, advised for the sorceress, whatever, escaped the danger of their song by stopping the ears of his crew with wax so that they were deaf to the sirens. Odysseus wanted to hear their song, but had himself tied to the mast so that he would not be able to steer the ship off its course. Relates that when the Argonauts sailed that way, Orpheus sang so divinely that only one of the Argonauts heard the siren song. Butes alone was compelled by the sirens' voices to jump into the water, but his life was saved by the goddess Cyprus, a cult name for Aphrodite. So I guess what they would do is they would sing so beautifully that you wouldn't be able to resist their charm, and then you would meet your demise or whatever. There could be something in that. Play with it if you feel like it. Anyway, this was intense. I gotta go do shit now. I love you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, and witnessing my little bout of emotional stuff. Love ya. Peace. Namaste.